Potions are not included.
Don't get cocky.
Minions have spawned.
I know what I'm doing.
has been slain.
I've got a good feeling about this.
Double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Not a problem.
Your team has destroyed. Shut down. Has been slain. Double kill. Has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
A warrior must be resourceful.
Shut down. An ally has been slain.
Set sail.
For no one.
An enemy has been slain.
does not often give us second
Minions
chances.
have spawned.
Zaitalo, how history repeats itself.
I'll make sure you see that.
choice.
Double kill.
An opening!
Ace. Your team has destroyed a turret.
And close the gate behind you.
An ally has been slain.
One that I upheld to my last breath. But after wait, are you still listening to this old man rambling? Get back to fighting.
Double kill. Enemy kills. An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Shut down. Aced.
I have seen the spirits behave this way.
An ally has been slain.
Long ago. If it persists,
An ally has been slain. Ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
this is the providence of God.
An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Enemy double kill. Shut down.
Though I no longer rule the Aeon Erna, I pray the owner remembers what I taught her.
An enemy
first lands, perhaps there is still hope.
This is Major Tom to ground control.
Killing spree. Enemy triple kill. Ace. Your team has destroyed a turret.
What is it that you require?
An ally has been slain.
There's no use running.
The enemy
your journey.
Stay at the vanguard.
Lovely as always.
Minions have spawned.
First light approaches.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Killing spree.
Sneaky snap.
Down.
Notice anything strange about these new spirit blossoms? I smell a mystery.
An ally has been slain.
Keep an eye out for any mysteries.
An enemy has been The sun. An enemy has been slain. Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Enemy double kill.
Think as long as you like, dear.
An enemy has been slain.
Every decision, a new path. Do be careful with that.
Stay at the vanguard. An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
First line approaches. Are you also a lover of history?
Enemy double kill. An enemy has been slain. Summoner's Rift. Minions have spawned.
Excuse me. But I love hugs. Don't worry, specters have nothing on magic cats. You can pat me on my chin and back. No worries. Pay no attention. Never fault.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Where to?
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. slain.
Faster! Faster!
Enemy killing spree.
We got the zoomies! Rubbing my head on Lose Your Mind.
An enemy has been slain.
Mush! Mush! Whee!
Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy rampage. An ally has been slain.
Fishy fish for my dishy dishy dish.
Summoner's Rift. Minions have spawned.
I'll stick with you. All right, which one of you's got great aim and is good at chin scritches?
You are awesome.
Banish the shadows. Shine bright. Banish the shadows.
First blood.
Shine bright. Blinding light. I guess we're going this way. Back on my own. Meow. The expert huntress stalks the battlefield.
An enemy has been slain.
We got the zoomies. snacks in your pocket? How about now? How about now?
Nice reflexes. That was easy. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Mind the trap. As expected.
Now you're ready to prowl. Do you ever get sick of thinking the song keeps coming up? Just me?
An ally has been slain.
You dreamed and dreamed early. Do something about it.
Enemy double
Keep your
kill.
light on. Is it time to save the world again? Today we are destroyers.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. They can run, but they can't hide. been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
We got the zoomies!
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
Rubbing my head on you means you're mine. I guess we're going this way.
Slain.
We did it! We knocked him over! Book, float us that way.
Over that area.
Yeah, so we are hearing the sirens going off in Tel Aviv once again. We're also seeing, let's check the red alerts here. Let's see. Red alerts all over. Like, we're seeing red alerts, Tel Aviv especially. We're seeing the Negev deserts being lit up once again. We have not seen any impacts in Negev, by the way. I haven't even seen interceptions in Negev. So, not sure what's up with that. But currently, we're seeing cameras scanning the skies of Tel Aviv. They're currently looking for interceptions. The sirens are blaring, by the way. Like, it's hard to hear anything over the sirens. But they're currently in a heightened state of alert. They're on the hunt for incoming Iranian missiles. So I'll let you know if I hear an interception here in just a second, and I'll keep you up to date.
We have been able to hear that China, aka Kylie Jenner, has stepped forward with a Pepsi. We are now hearing that they are urging everyone for an immediate ceasefire, and can we all just get along and have a bottle of Pepsi? Y'all probably all remember the commercial I'm talking about. But beyond that, it appears that this is now the Chinese response. So for everyone who was saying, "Oh my God, the Chinese are going to come in and they're going to curb stomp everyone," well, now that's the Chinese response. They're just asking for a ceasefire. This is literally actually the same response that they gave to the war in Ukraine, and look how little that did. So it seems as though the Chinese have already made it clear their willpower to really help out the Iranians is non existent, and the best effort that they're going to make is go, please stop everyone, and that's going to be it. So we already knew that that was coming. The Russians will probably make a comment tomorrow going, the West is escalating only further, and then they'll leave it at that because they've made that claim about 900 times in 4 years, and they never do anything about it. They don't have a way to do anything about it. That's really the larger thing of the two, is that they don't have the support facilities that we have. I mean, if they wanted to fight us in the Middle East, where do they fly their jets out of? Where in the world do they fuel up and rearm their ships? Where in the world do they drop off their soldiers? There's literally no one in the Middle East that would do that for China, so they really can't even come out here and help anyone or do anything for that matter, unless they wanted to get obliterated trying to make it to an Iranian port right now in the middle of a war. So that their responses are well measured because they know, analysis wise, there's literally no way to help the Iranians from their end. But the air defense situation.
Also, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh
I
no,
thought you were finished.
go ahead, please, by all means.
I was about to say, is I'm seeing a lot of people say, "What the hell are y'all talking about?" You say there's a bright orb over Iran. It was over Karaj, Iran, by the way. We cannot show the full video due to copyright reasons. We can show a photo though of the object in the sky. I've just reposted it, by the way. You can see it's a very bright object. Like zooming forward to it, where you can see it about right there. This was the object over Karaj right before the missile attacks took place last night. We saw this orb show up over Garage, and this is not the first time we've seen it. We saw it allegedly in Venezuela, and we've seen it in other active conflict zones as well, where the U.S. is involved. So people are speculating that some type of reconnaissance ability. Nobody knows, but this is the object that we're referring to when we say that.
Now, the first time this thing showed up, it was during the 12-day war of last year in 2025, and it actually showed up glowing a bright red, according to eyewitnesses on the ground. Since then, we've never seen it show up in red again. It's always shown up as a solid white orb. This is not the moon, and this is not the sun, by the way, just to make that clear. This thing is just the orb, and we call it the Orb of Judgment. That was the name we gave it in the 12-day war, and it was pretty funny, and everyone got a kick out of it. So since then, it has been officially dubbed here on the channel the Orb of Judgment. We don't know what the thing is, really. I mean, like, we are taking our best pot shots at what this thing is, but you can tell, folks, that at a higher altitude there, and a good distance away from the camera, it still appears as an incredibly large orb of bright light. Just don't know what it is. Or we think, if anything, it might be reconnaissance based, because it doesn't appear to have any weaponry on board, and it appears to just kind of show up, hang out, and then leave, and then right after that, something major happens. I mean, some people have gone as far as calling it maybe some sort of an angel of some sort from biblical description. Which, I mean, like, it kind of, like, you know, like, if you kind of notice, like, just like not getting into the religious side of things because we don't talk about it here, I mean, it kind of does seem like it matches kind of like a biblical description, at least in the basic framework, because usually, if y'all don't know, in biblical terms, angels would usually show up to mark some sort of a significant event that was soon to happen. So a lot of people have been calling this the angel. Maybe we could call this the I guess the angel of doom, because usually whenever this thing shows up, it just means bad things are about to happen for someone somewhere. But I like to call it the orb of judgment because it's a bright orb.
Yeah, I don't know if the angels are showing up right before widespread death is about to take place. I'd be a little bit out there, at least in my opinion. But that's very subjective, so it's up to you to determine what you think about it. But me personally, I don't know about that being angels showing up, because right before or right after this thing left, death and destruction reigned across the whole place. So that is a bit of a fascinating aspect to it. Also, by the way, some people are saying that this might be the discombobulator that the president keeps talking about over and over and over. We still do not know what the discombobulator actually is. Some people speculate it's a backpack, a mobile system that can be used. But, in Venezuela, there were not people on the ground with backpacks. There was helicopters flying over. And also, the Venezuelans claim that some other strange aircraft showed up right before the helicopter showed up, but we never got visual evidence of that. So there's always a whole bunch of mythology around the U.S. showing up because we're just that damn good. When we show up, it's like Greek mythology's return to the earth or something. People start thinking all kinds of weird stuff starts happening just because they're so caught off guard by the fact our guys are so damn good.
You know, the truth of it is some sort of U.S. military technology that hasn't been disclosed to the public. That's probably the truth of it, because the fact that it shows up before every U.S. military operation, but it doesn't show up any other time. Like, it doesn't show up when the Taliban-Pakistan war begins. It doesn't show up in Ukraine. Well, actually, I think this thing did show up in Ukraine at one point, but that was a long time ago. And we don't even know if that's the same thing. But anyways, it shows up all over the place when the U.S. is about to go do something, so it is probably a U.S. piece of equipment. It's just that we can't see it because it's so damn bright, so we can't really tell exactly what it is. But with that in mind, I hope we have been able to address the orb for those who may have been unknowing of the all-seeing orb and the orb of judgment in its all of its glory over Tehran. But we are going to be continuing to cover the developments that are happening right now. And also, by the way, Matthew, I do want to make sure that I say this. We will probably want to get towards answering questions here within about 20 minutes or so, because we don't want to overdo this stream, because we do have to wake up tomorrow and basically get back to doing this endlessly all day again tomorrow. So with that in mind, what do we have coming out right now?
So I think, folks, I'm not sure. Hold on a second. Give me just a second here. Sirens are going off in Tel Aviv again. Currently watching and seeing here if there's an interception. The cameras appear to be tracking some moving object, so I think there might be an interception that's about to take place, or possibly an impact. So currently waiting to see what's happening with this in Tel Aviv. Generally speaking, so far, this attack has not gone as severe as Iran has claimed it was going to go. If this is allegedly the doomsday strike they were talking about, this is apparently nothing compared to what we thought it was going to be. So it could be it was a whole bunch of bullshit that they were putting out, that they were not really going to do much of anything. We haven't seen hypersonics being used yet, by the way, so Iran might be holding those back for right now, so there might be more to come. But for right now, though, damage is minimal inside of Israel. Also, the main damage is in the Gulf states, which are the ones that are generally kind of neutral to Iran. The ones taking the worst beating are Iran's friends. So kind of a bit of a strange situation with that. So currently waiting to see. I'm hearing the sirens still going off in Tel Aviv. Not really seeing any type of interceptions. I don't think we're going to see it. I'll let you know if I see it, though. But for right now, that's pretty much what's going on. So we might not be seeing much tonight. Iran might be holding back, and their doomsday attack might not be as much as they were trying to make it out to be.
The Iranians claimed they were going to drop the 6th mixtape of True Promise. They dropped it. It was mid, and now we all move on. I mean, what a shame, really. The Iranians would love to talk all of this talk about how they can destroy U.S. carriers and how they can completely destroy U.S. and Israeli forces. Then it turns into an absolute abysmal failure. And, people ought to kind of expect this from the U.S.'s enemies, because they always talk a lot of talk, and they never follow through on any of it. I mean, even like the Chinese radars, they can't even pick up a stealth aircraft, much less a normal one, from what we can tell. All of it's basically just straight up BS. But with that in mind...
So I see here something. Let's see here. So... we're getting a report here. We're getting a report from a mainstream media outlet, which is generally pretty reliable. They're claiming that U.S. Israeli interceptor stocks are starting to run low. So that might explain why we're seeing these sort of mid-level attacks still taking place right now, is because Iran might be trying to run out whatever's left of the interceptor stocks that Israel's currently using, and also the Gulf states as well. Even though the Gulf states seem to pretty much have very ineffective air defense, they still have a little bit. It sounds like they're running low on the stocks of interceptors. So that might be what the Iranians are waiting for. They're trying to wear down the current air defense with their crappier weapons, and then they're going to come in with the more expensive hypersonics that we know they have in their arsenal right now. So that might explain it, actually.
But wouldn't it make sense to use the hypersonics, considering that they might have a higher chance of making it through the air defense while the air defense is active, and then use the cheaper, less effective missiles that could easily be intercepted once the air defense is run out?
Well, I think what Iran might be trying to do here, I think what they're trying to do is use their cheap to mid-tier missiles to overwhelm and empty out the interceptor stocks of Israel. So that way they can then launch the actual doomsday order. And I'm trying to give them a little bit of leeway here because, of course, they just claimed they were about to do it now and they really didn't pull it off. But they could be trying to perform the hypersonic attacks in the midst of a wide-ranging ballistic attack. So it might be that possibly, but that once again, I'm trying to see if there's maybe some type of legit argument here that Iran's trying to make, but we don't know. It could still be bullshit for all we know.
It could be. I'm kind of leaning towards that a little bit. I mean, maybe it's not. But at the same time, they only have a limited number of TELs. It's not like they can fire off all those missiles that they have in storage in one go. So, I mean, that still would be a heavy limiting factor. And I think they're already working at 100% volume for their TELs operationally. But we'll see. But outside of that, folks, I do have to say that while we are covering this news right now, and we do have another breathing moment here, if y'all been enjoying our news coverage again on the second stream of the day, this one has now been about 2 hours long already. I believe it's actually been about 2.5 hours long as a correction there. But I do thank you all so much once again for watching so far. If y'all have enjoyed, please make sure to subscribe. We've been running streams practically religiously at this point on this topic over the past really about 24 hours at this point. We've run on total 4 breaking news live streams in 24 hours, each one averaging about 5 to 6 hours each, just about. So it does seem as though we could definitely be seeing that this will be continuing tomorrow, and we'll probably be having to continue the same work effort tomorrow. So with that in mind, if you want to hear further developments and information of the same kind of quality and information, please make sure to subscribe, because if it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't all be able to make this channel possible, and we wouldn't have a wonderful group of people to inform around the entirety of the world about what's going on in your own backyard in some cases, or what's going on far overseas that isn't covered in your domestic news cycles for those here in the West. So with that, I hope that does address that well. And I just saw someone say, "Bro, you sound compromised." No, I'm tired as hell. Like, that's the truth. Like, my head, I got a bad headache. I'm dehydrated. I'm tired, and we're still running this thing. Compromised? No. Tired of shit? Hell yeah. So with that in mind, we are going to be making sure to continue to cover the developments that are going on in this area. And Matthew, do we have any further developments right now?
So right now we appear to be in a bit of a lull state right now. We are seeing that apparently missiles are still en route to targets. By the way, we're seeing Manama, Bahrain's also taking another hit. Appears to be a hotel this time. So once again, Iran's back to their terroristic ways of striking civilian infrastructure instead of hitting military targets. So that's generally what's happening right now. Is just a bunch more strikes that we've been seeing so far. But with that, folks, while we're taking a bit of a break here, let's get a couple of our current super chats that are currently in the queue while we wait for more breaking news to break out of this ongoing attack that we're seeing right now. So our first one here is going to be a super chat which goes to B. Justin, who put in a $100 support. And thank you very much, B. Justin, for that support. We appreciate that. That's very generous of you. And Enforcer, what say you?
I gotta thank you so much for the incredible support and help with this channel to keep running. And we're on to the next one.
We also have a $100 support from Kratos, who said, "You two are awesome, and we appreciate your grind."
And thank you so much for the unbelievable support, Kratos. And we try our best to stay on that grind. And I gotta say, folks, I thought it wouldn't be too hard to run a second stream. But interestingly enough, talking as how I'm talking, it is actually kind of getting a little bit exhausting. I told Matthew we were going to run a high quality show like a Spielberg, something like that, here on the second show. And I got to be honest with y'all, 2 shows a day. I mean, we are really kicking it these days. I mean, we are going in high gear, and that's coming right off of the tail end of a already major live stream that ran for, I believe, it ran for 6 straight hours, and then we did another 2 hours after that, really after only about a 40-minute to an hour-long break. But a big thanks to you so much once again for support and helping this channel to keep on running. I hope that does address that well, and we are very honored to know that so many people are really enjoying our work effort and the news that we are putting out, because at the end of it all, folks, you're going to be shocked. The Enforcer channel runs on 2 people. That is me, and that is Enforcer Matt. The 2 people who are on air, we run everything on air and off air on the show. It's a decent amount of work, but we're always honored, and we hope that our passion and our dedication to this sort of work always shows through in the kind of quality that you'll get on air, because we do literally everything to be able to make this show a reality every day, multiple times a day at this point. So a huge thanks to you so much once again. I hope that does address that incredibly well, Kratos, and we are on to the next one.
And we are seeing, by the way, the sirens going off in Tel Aviv yet again right now. So we are seeing that. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'll let you know if there's an interception. But moving on to our next super chat. In the meantime, though, a big shout out to Poi Vor, who put in an $80 support. And thank you very much, Poi Vor, for that support. They said, here's some sweet Aussie dollars for the hardest working team in war correspondence. And I've been watching you since the start of the war in Ukraine and tune in nearly every day. And thank you for keeping us up to speed and keeping us informed.
And thank you so much for enjoying our work. And thank you so much for appreciating the news that we cover and the kind of information that we try and provide. I got to thank you so much for watching us through all this time. You've watched this channel evolve quite a great deal and really come over the whole entire situation as far as what's been going on over the past 4 years. We went from covering the Ukraine war as our only topic of news to now we cover every single conflict largely going on in the globe that is of any major strategic importance. And I got to thank you massively for the support and help this channel to keep on running, because it is folks like you who help to make this channel possible and help us to keep this thing running. And so with that, I hope that has addressed that well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, a big shout out to Based Soda, who just put in a $50 support as well. And thank you very much, Based Soda, for throwing in that support. And of course, that's very generous. They said, Uber some Motrin and gallons, jugs of water. My treat.
Thank you so much for the support, Base Soda. And I might have to get myself like little gallon jugs of water and just like guzzle them while I'm on air, because I mean, like, water is something that is actually kind of hard to come by while I'm running the show. But then again, I talk nonstop. Dead air is a bad thing for a show, and a lot of people are like, God, this guy loves to hear himself talk. If I had a choice, folks, I would stop talking a lot. But the reality is that if we do that, this show becomes a lot slower paced and then a lot more boring. And we want to make sure that when y'all are watching news, it actually sounds interesting. There's always something going on, at least at a minimum. People seem to enjoy that a lot more than just dead on silence in the middle of nowhere. But a humongous thanks to you so much once again. I hope that was addressed incredibly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we also have a super chat coming up here from none other than George Allison, who put in a 50. And thank you very much, George, for that $50 super chat. He did not leave a comment, but we appreciate you very much, George, for helping to keep the channel running. We also just got a $100 support from YouTube Guy Com. And thank you very much, YouTube Guy, for that $100 support. We appreciate that very much. Very generous of you. He said, you guys are awesome.
And thank you so much for that incredible support, YouTube Guy. And you are awesome for supporting this channel and helping us to keep our work going. And so a big thanks to you once again. And we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, someone said, I love y'all's voice, that sportscaster voice. This is actually my real voice, by the way. People think I'm putting this on, and people think Andrew's putting his voice on. This is the way I sound in real life. I've gotten it my entire life. People will see me in person. My voice does not match my face. It doesn't match me either. I'm sort of a, I guess not really slim necessarily, but I'm not exactly what you'd call like a big burly type person that would generally have a voice like this. So people are always like, dang, you have like a radio voice. I'm like, I guess so. So I guess we're putting it to good use. But anyway,
what's funny,
moving on to our...
what's funny, man, is that we'll go around in public, folks. We didn't get this a lot in Alabama, but once we moved our headquarters out here to Utah, which is basically just where we live, once we moved out here to Utah, basically everybody that we talk to in public would be like, are you a singer? Do you do radio? Are you on TV? And we're like, no. we're like, YouTube, but you know, not TV or anything. And then people are like, are you a singing man, Kathleen? Sing a song. And we don't sing. Like, we're terrible at singing. You can ask anyone who's been around for a minute. We've tried it. It's bad. But anyways, we're on to the next one.
We also have a $50 support from none other than Chris Feilbach, and thank you very much, Chris, for that 50. He said about martyrdom, it takes about 86 years, and don't you kind of suck at it? I think that's kind of a fair assessment, just saying.
I mean, you know, like, that is kind of like a good point. I mean, you know, if the guy is like almost like dead from old age, you know, and then he gets martyred, then is that really martyrdom or is that not? And that's an interesting one right there. It's an interesting one indeed. And so a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep running. I hope that has addressed that well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $100 Canadian support, 100 Canadian that is, from Joel Whitlock. And thank you very much, Joel, for that massive support as well. He said, if you think there were any chemical warheads or pharmaceutical weapons that we've heard about,
I haven't heard of any of them pharmaceutical weapons, but there is always a risk of chemical warfare being used by a country like Iran, and we do understand that there may be some precautions being taken at this point, at least right now, but we don't really know exactly for sure. As far as biological warfare, which I think the pharmaceutical part was asking about, we haven't really heard a lot about those threats either. As a matter of fact, those don't really seem to be that much into the equation, but they may rise in prevalence the worse the situation gets for Iran in the coming days. So I hope that Ezra said the best I can, and a big thanks to you for the support and up with this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And we also have a super chat this time from none other than Yanara Sorkafor. And thank you very much, Yanara, for that 50. And they said, first time I can give a super chat. And I've been following y'all silently since day 780. And you're doing an absolutely amazing job. And you deserve your fun for Costco chicken, coffee, and everything else. And it needed to keep up with all these events. And love from Canada.
And thank you so much for the support and helping this channel to keep running. Thank you for the kind words, by the way. And it's great to know that you've been watching this show for about half of the time that it's been on air, which is even crazy to think that that's 780 days in now for that to be the halfway point. But I do thank you so much for the kind words and the support, and you're helping this channel to keep on running. So a huge thanks to you once again. And we are on to the next one.
We also have a $100 support from Christian Woodbury, and thank you very much, Christian, as well, for that very generous support. He said, it's like listening to a Tom Clancy novel or Jane's Weapons book in real time. Very strong work.
And thank you so much for the kind words. That is incredibly high praise right there. I thank you so much for that. A lot of people consider Tom Clancy's novels to be of high regard, and I've got to say that it's a wonderful and incredible thing to know that folks like you help this channel to keep on running and make this thing possible with such high praise and support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $20 support from none other than Daniel Hammett. And thank you very much, Daniel, for that support as well. He said, please order some DoorDash and keep us informed on the war.
Oh, you thought I didn't? I'm just kidding. I actually had to go out and try and get something actually in the little interim that we had. And then right when I got back, folks, I was eating the appetizer that I got because I hadn't had anything to eat all day until we got off the show, the first one today. And then as soon as I was doing that, Matthew called me and he was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? Like, we actually have this little thing, by the way. I'll tell you all a little bit about what we do. Like, every time we get on a call, we go, oh, hello there. Like, we do it just like that. And then the other one does it back. That's what we do. But he was like, oh, hello there. I was like, oh, hello there. He was like, man, they're about to conduct a doomsday attack. I was like, damn. I was like, right now. I was like, we just got done with a 5.5 hour, 6 hour show nearly. But then we came right back on air and then we covered the biggest attack of all the attacks, which ended up being kind of a normal one, really. But anyways, I do thank you so much for the support and enjoying this show, and we will get some Costco chicken and coffee and whatnot. And so a huge thanks to you so much once again, and we are on to the next one.
All right. And also, let's check here real quick. I'm trying to see something. Trying to see if I have any more breaking news right now. I think we're good for right now, but I'll keep an eye out. So moving into our next super chat, this one goes to Nick Hines. And thank you very much, Nick, for that $50 support. He said, LSA and Iran may have sleeper cells in America. However, I'm fairly sure that there are various departments like DHS and CIA that are already under surveillance. And in the past, they were called before anything ever happened. And thoughts, amazing enforcers. So unfortunately, Nick, I hate to say this, of course, by the way, because of course it affects me just like it affects everybody else. There are going to be issues in the United States going forward. So it's not a time to panic. That's the key, because the whole point of these situations is to cause people to panic. So you don't want to do that, or you're giving right into the terrorists. But you do need to be vigilant when you go out in public, because you never know what these people are planning to do. So it's wise to be vigilant. It's good to think about self-defense, and don't be oblivious when you get into crowds and stuff like that. In fact, me personally, I'm going to probably avoid crowds. I did that anyway, but I'm definitely going to avoid them now. But Enforcer, what say you?
I would have to definitely agree on that. It's best to avoid crowds at the moment, but there's definitely going to be some homeland security issues coming out from this. And generally, it's not the CIA who looks over that sort of stuff here on the domestic front. That would actually be the Federal Bureau of Investigation, also called the FBI. They actually have groups, undercovers, and a whole bunch of agents that basically observe and watch these groups. There's actually a great guy out there right now who wrote a book. He was actually an undercover FBI agent, and he was the one who infiltrated groups like the Klan and the Base and other groups like that. He has some very wildly interesting stories that he's published out there on YouTube, and he's even written a book about it. But generally, it's the FBI that takes care of that sort of stuff, or those sorts of develops domestically. but they can't catch all of them. So there is definitely going to be some sort of an issue or some sort of attacks that happen on U.S. soil, and that requires a great deal of vigilance and also heightened security by the citizenry themselves to be able to protect the whole of the United States of America from these ne'er-do-wells that may be here within our own borders at the moment right now. So I hope that does address that the best I can, and a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we also have a $50 super chat from James Hughes. And thank you, James, as well. I said, the Ford super chat in just 3 days. I love giving it to you guys but not to YouTube. But you guys are doing such great work, and thank you.
And thank you so much for the kind words. We're glad to know that you appreciate our show and you want to support it. And we thank you so much for helping it to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a $50 super chat from none other than Dragon Golem once again, and he puts in a 50 and said, "You guys are doing good. Remember to stay hydrated, and is there any word if Russia or China has issued a statement about the attacks?"
China has stated, please stop. Like, that's literally been their statement. They're asking for a ceasefire, but they're not condemning anyone, actually. And that's actually fairly Chinese behavior, actually. That's what they normally do. And the Russians have basically said nothing. If they say anything, it's going to be like, the world is getting more dangerous or something, and then people are going to be like, oh god, they're going to kill us, and the nuclear bombers are flying, oh no, and it's going to be nothing. They don't do anything when they make that statement, so don't worry about it at all. Like, the Russians and the Chinese are in the periphery right now. They can't help Iran, so making any sort of threatening statements and then starting another war, it wouldn't help out Iran, and it wouldn't help them out either. So they're just going to sit back and kind of lament the whole deal, but there's not a lot they can do. So I hope that does address that well, and a big thanks to you for the support. And with that, we're on to the next one.
Also, by the way, I just want to give a shout out, by the way. We are very grateful. We have gained a hell of a lot of subscribers over the course of those recent events that broke out last night. We are currently, I think we're like, what is it, like 10, 15,000 subscribers or something like that. It's an insane amount ever since this broke out the other day. I just want to take a second to say that if you want to keep up with this and also be notified of our streams going live, the only way to do that is to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, by the way. We will be going live, I would imagine, quite a bit in the upcoming week or so while this war is going on. This war is expected to last over the course of weeks. So we'll be going live whenever there's something major happening with it, when time does permit. So if you want to do that, or make sure you subscribe. Of course, we appreciate you all subscribing very much. And of course, we welcome you to the channel. But our next one here goes to none other than Trister1, who puts in a 50. And thank you very much, Trister, for that support. He said,
hey,
hello to the LSA.
And a big hello to you, and a big hello to the whole of the LSA. By the way, folks, gotta let y'all know, when you subscribe to this channel, you automatically become a member of our community, the amazing folks that make up the Enforcer channel, which are called the LSA, which stands for the Lee Spring Army. Generally, the Lee Spring Army is, well, not generally, it is a pro-Western, pro-American group that looks out primarily for American and Western interests without taking a specific political lean. That means that we'll praise specific actions that are good, like this one against Iran. This is a solid action that has been in the works for years and needed to be. And then sometimes we'll say that things are goofy, like the war in Venezuela, which really didn't make any sense. And it generally relies on the analysis of what will be the most beneficial to the United States. But if you are a part of this channel, not only do you like high-quality news, but you also like to see that American interests prevail in the way that would be the most beneficial to the United States, which doesn't take a political leaning one way or another. And also, we make sure to keep our news as unbiased, factual, and up to date as we possibly can. You're not going to be hearing any political debates on this channel. But with that, we are going to be moving on and into the next one. And a big thanks to you for the support.
And this one goes to Immocracy, who puts in a 50 and said, first, thanks for all the streams. And also, I want to acknowledge my uncle, a retired 20-year U.S. Air Force veteran, EOD vet, who passed away from chronic health issues today. And also, I'm very sorry to hear that, by the way. My condolences to you. And also, big thank you for his service as well. He said his watch is over, but it's in capable hands.
And I got to say, I'm very sorry for your loss as well. It's quite unfortunate to hear. But I would say that hopefully he is in a much better place now. And so a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 50 from Steve Otten. And thank you very much, Steve, for that $50 support. He said, I may not watch daily due to time, but I know this is the spot to come to for the best coverage possible when shit hits the fan. And oi, oi, keep doing what you're doing.
And thank you so much for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we are going to keep doing what we've been doing. And a humongous thanks to you once again for that incredible support and helping this channel to keep rolling. And we're on to the next one.
We also have yet another $50 support, this time from Joseph Carr. And thank you very much, Joseph, as well. He said, keep up the great work. And as far as the not-so-supreme leader of Iran goes, it looks like knock-knock, he's knocking on Satan's door.
Well, you know, I heard that he was definitely not on the staircase to heaven. I mean that's kind of for sure at this point. But I do thank you massively for the support and help with this channel to keep it running. I hope that does just that well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we also have a $100 support that just came in from none other than Kratos. And thank you very much, Kratos, for that.
Hey!
A second support of the day. We appreciate that very much. They said you guys are going to have a busy week. We really appreciate what you do. Enforcer is the media, and you two are a staple and more important than you know. And get some rest when you can. And thank you guys.
And thank you so much for the incredibly kind words and the support. And it actually is kind of crazy because as far as news agencies go on YouTube, we actually beat all of the mainstream news agencies last night when the war broke out for the amount of people who came here, which is actually showing that we're changing the general news, I guess you could say, terrain a great deal if we're to get corporate there with our speak. Apparently, a lot of people are now choosing to watch us over mainstream news outlets, at least on YouTube, which we're always incredibly proud to see, and we're happy to know that we're able to keep the nation of the United States well informed on what's going on around the world, because I believe that a well informed and truly intelligent public is what is most important and an imperative for the United States of America to have a functioning and successful democracy. And so a huge thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $50 support from Professional Piercer. And thank you very much, Professional, for the support. He said, thank you for the coverage. And was Dubai hit? And you think the Burj Khalifa will get hit as well? And just to make sure it isn't the tallest building anymore.
Yeah, actually, I don't know when that super chat was thrown in, but if it was earlier or even later in the stream, it actually wouldn't matter because this happened in our last show. The Burj Khalifa has actually been directly hit by drone attacks already, and it also does appear that Dubai has taken multiple hits at the international airport, the Burj Khalifa, the surrounding buildings around the Burj Khalifa, the Burj Al Arab, and other key landmark locations within Dubai that are generally world renowned. So I hope that does address that, unfortunately, the best I can, but a big thanks to you for the support, and we are on to the next one.
All right. And also, by the way, we are getting word at Iraq near the embassy in Baghdad. It's the same footage we've had before, by the way, but I'm getting some more details right now. That apparently individuals associated with Iran-aligned armed factions are the ones leading the charge to break into the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. So that was expected, by the way. We'd already said that before. I'm going to go ahead and repost that piece of news right now. And it appears to be the Iraqi security forces are basically unleashing beanbags and bear spray and stuff like that on them to get them out of there. But it seems like they are determined because, of course, these are Iran-aligned factions and they're not going to give up easily. So the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad is currently under threat, and that is confirmed as of right now. It's definitely under threat from Iranian-aligned people, apparently. So that's not good. But Enforcer, what say you?
Fairly unfortunate incident. Hopefully, we'll be able to see that the Iraqi military forces that are currently around the embassy in the green zone and also the U.S. Marines, most likely still at the embassy, will be able to protect it as best as they possibly can. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $100 support from none other than Frustrated JD. And thank you very much, Frustrated, for that very generous support right there. He did not leave a comment, but we appreciate that. And Enforcer, what say you?
And I got to thank you massively for that incredible support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we always got to say that we're massively appreciative of the folks who support this channel and help it to keep running. Y'all make it possible. And so a big thanks to you once again. And also, Matthew, it appears that we're hearing that there is some sort of a statement from the President of the United States on Truth Social. Do you think that you could find that for us really quickly and send it to me so that we can see if we can read it off on air?
Yeah. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. Let's see here. Interestingly enough, the president was going to be scheduled to come out and make a speech today, but his people canceled that speech for some reason. We're not sure why. We're not sure if maybe it didn't go the way they were hoping it was going to go today, and they didn't really have much to report. But the president was going to speak. So let's see what we got on Truth Social here. Truth Social. I got to sign up for an account on Truth Social eventually to get these tweets notified, but I just hate to do that. But let's see here. So yeah, we are seeing a post here. Let me get that link so that way we can show the people. Let's see here. All right, there's a link. I just sent it to you over Discord. To go ahead and give y'all a rundown of what this is saying while the Enforcer pulls this up. The U.S. president has posted 3 minutes ago on Truth Social that Iran just stated that they're going to hit very hard today, harder than they have ever hit before, which is what we're reporting on right here on the stream, actually. They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. Thank you for your attention to the matter. So the president seems to be addressing exactly what we're covering right here on our stream right now. He must have been notified of it somehow, one way or another, either through open source, us, somebody. He found out through somebody. So He's apparently confirming that. I wonder if he has gotten intelligence from his own people, or he's going off of what's being said in the public and what Iran's saying publicly as well. I wonder where this is coming from that he's making a statement about. So he's corroborating the doomsday order that we're talking about right now, based in his post.
And it does appear that apparently this has now brought on a threat of even greater conventional force, we would assume, being used by the U.S. Armed Forces. Because I can tell you all one thing: this is like some people are saying he's talking nukes. It's not nukes. Like the Russians say this stuff against Ukraine all the time, and you know what it usually becomes? It's just a larger normal attack if they can even muster it. The U.S. can definitely muster a larger attack against Iran right now. We do have the conventional ability to do such a thing, but this is more so saying that we'll ramp up the conventional attacks and the tempo if the Iranians start conducting overwhelming attacks against us. So with that, I hope we were able to address that statement that just came out moments ago. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $50 support from Nick Hines, and thank you very much, Nick, as well. And he said, "Hello, Enforcers. I heard Matt talking about a subcavitating, and cavitation causes heated bubbles that quickly burst, and it can cause dents and damage to metallic propellers, which is why the Navy tries to prevent it, and it's also something I look for in my job."
And that's actually true. And eventually, it's actually quite interesting. Cavitation happens to all propellers of seafaring vessels, and that's actually why on some ships, like for example, this is actually really cool in the sea because they have them on the deck. Let's see, the Queen Mary 2 propeller. Let me see if I can show you this on ships like the Queen Mary 2, which are, I believe, one of the last ocean liners that travel the Earth's seas, they actually have spare propeller screws on board, so that way, if the propellers become worn out, they can bring this thing into a port somewhere and then throw these on. So that is actually true, and a fairly interesting sort of a little phenomenon, and it creates a humongous amount of sound, folks. That's actually how most submarines are ever picked up. It's not the sonar pings, and they don't actually sound like that little boop sort of a sound that you hear in media a lot. They're actually usually like high-pitched screech noises. I can't even imitate them. But beyond that, though, usually they don't use an active sonar. They use what's called a passive sonar, which is basically an aquaphone, and they listen around in the water for the sound of something cavitating, which could give away a ship or even a submarine if it has its propeller spinning at enough revolutions per a certain period of time or at a certain speed. So I hope that does address that well, and a big thanks to you for the support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And our next one here is going to go to none other than BC Skyman, who put in a $50 support with a super sticker. And thank you very much, BC, for that support. And we appreciate it very much, as always, from a channel legend. And we appreciate that very, very much. And Enforcer, what say you?
And I got to thank you massively for the support, BC Scammer. We're happy to have you here tonight. And I hope that you've been enjoying the show. And we thank you greatly for helping this channel to keep on running as a channel legend. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 50 from Bad Skipper, and thank you very much, Bad Skipper, for that 50. He said, "Since this is an undeclared war, any casualties will not be compensated by the VA, according to case law developed during Agent Orange. And if the Congress shuts down next week, will this be another Agent Orange type situation for the veterans?"
Sadly, I wouldn't really be able to talk about that. I'm not entirely well versed in Veterans Affairs policies and also those sorts of situations. So sadly, I'd have to declare ignorance on that at the moment, and probably guide you towards someone who would know a little bit more about Veterans Affairs policies and also law surrounding compensation. And so, I thank you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 50 from Matt Bartels, and thank you, Matt, very much. He said, "Thanks so much for the coverage today. Incredible stuff, gents."
And thank you so much for enjoying the coverage, and we love to know that it is fairly credible. And big thanks to you once again, and we are on to the next one.
We also have a 50 from Frustrated JD yet again, and thank you, good sir, for that support. He said, "Thanks for the update, guys, and keep up the good work."
And thank you so much for the support and helping this channel to keep on running, and we will keep up the good work. And before we move on to the next one, I got to say that this whole orb thing has taken on a life of its own in the chat, man. I don't know if you're seeing this right now, but there's like literally every single comment's about the orb. It's been like that for like 20 minutes. Have you been noticing that?
People love a good mystery, by the way. I love a good mystery too, because part of it is it might be a real capability of the United States, and also part of it is kind of like psychological. Like the enemy might be seeing this possibly as well, and they might be thinking, "What the hell are they doing? What are they deploying over our skies?" I was like, we don't know either. It could be anything. It could be the orb of judgment. It could be your worst nightmare showing up. Possibly, you never can tell. That's why Iran should be very careful about what they do, because you never can tell what will come out of the hangar.
Honestly, I mean, like, I've been getting a blast out of this, folks. I've been keeping quiet on that for 20 minutes, but I think this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. The whole chat's just unified on this orb thing, and every once in a while, I'll see someone being like, stop with the orb. And then after that, there's like 50 comments like, praise the orb, be the orb. And it's just the funniest thing, honestly. I'm getting a kick out of it. But anyways, with that, we are on. Matthew, we will have to, because eventually, folks, here in the future, we're probably going to get a merch store running for the channel again for like famous catchphrases and LSA merch and stuff like that. We are going to have to do something on the orb, Matthew, because I mean, the orb is unreal with the cult following it has on this channel. Everybody knows the orb of judgment.
I think a sapphire orb of judgment that sits on your desk that costs like $9 million might be a good thing for the merch store.
You know, I've never thought of that, but that is brilliant. That is brilliant. But anyways, with that, we're on to the next one.
And our next one here is going to go to none other than Rainbird Broadcast, who puts in the 50. And thank you very much, Rainbird, as well. He said, thank you from Alaska. My wife and kid are in the theater in Israel, and you guys are keeping me informed about what's going on. And please keep going. And thank you for keeping me and my nerves at ease.
I thank you so much for the support, Rainbird, and we're happy to know that we're able to keep people's nerves at ease, trying to cover this news in about the calmest and most pragmatic way we can, and I hope that they do stay safe. Make sure that if you ever get them on the phone, make sure to tell them and constantly stress to them that remaining near to a bomb shelter or some sort of a significant shelter would be quite important for them and their safety at the moment, as that will generally protect them from most Iranian attacks, and hopefully we'll be able to see that the armed forces of the United States and Israel are able to defend the skies over that area and make sure that the civilians and the citizenry remain safe. And so a humongous thanks to you for the support all the way up there in Alaska, and we are on to the next one.
We also have a $31 support from Julian and Kate. And thank you very much, Julian and Kate, for that support. They said, I had the TV continuously on and have a kangaroo burger and blackjack, of course, from historic Tasmanian. And we love you from the old guard for over 4 years and keep it going.
And thank you massively, Julie and Kate, to the old guard of the LSA who have been here with us since the first month of our coverage 4 years ago. And I thank you massively for enjoying this channel and helping it to keep on running. If it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't be able to make this thing possible and keep it rolling. And I got to thank you massively for making this thing a reality. And so a huge thanks to you so much once again, on top of the entirety of the old guard as well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, the UFO channels are watching us, like some of the biggest ones. They're reposting us on Twitter, by the way. I think that's why we're having so much activity in the chat about the orb talk right now, is because apparently the UFO channels on Twitter, like I'm talking about the big ones, are currently showing our analysis of the orb of judgment over Courage right now. So, I mean, fair enough. Like, fair enough. I will say this is a legitimate case that might want to be. There's really not much to study, to be honest, though. There's just a video showing a light source in the sky that appears to be stationary, but you know, there's stuff on the UFO stuff that I feel like is a little bit stretched a little bit when it comes to the truth, and then there's stuff like this that's a legitimate thing that we're really not sure what it is. So, I mean, you know, getting a little bit of UFO attention out here in the midst of all this crazy Iran news.
Who is it?
Let's see on Twitter. It is. Let's see here. I just got the notification. It looks like UAP Wixie on Twitter is one of them right there. Just tagged us in it as well.
Really? Let's see. Where can I find that? I want to go see this because I find this actually kind of a little funny. You know, we're actually getting mentioned in the UFO circles for the Orb of Judgment.
Under our notifications tab, you'll see it.
Under our notifications tab, let's take a look at that. Let's see. Hang on, let me go see if I can find it here. I'm sorry, folks. I don't really navigate Twitter all too well. I just basically repost on the thing. Let's see here. I'd like, for some reason, man, I'm not seeing it on my end. I mean, I actually do have to say that we were fairly honored to know that people would mention us about the UFO. Oh, I found it, actually. I found it. Oh, yeah, look, they actually are reposting us talking about the Orb of Judgment. Isn't that crazy? Like, that is actually something right there. So apparently we're making wakes because in the middle of our news coverage, we mentioned the orb, and that's now caught the interest of a lot of UFO aficionados. I have to say, me personally, I don't know if it's UFO or not, just to say that, you know, as far as our official statements, we actually don't know what that thing is, and it's beyond our knowledge. We just know that it's a bright orb that shows up in key moments right before something big happens. That's really all we know. But anyways, with that, we are
also we're being posted about in Reddit r/UFO apparently as well. I'm hearing as well. So we're making the rounds, folks. We're making the rounds. We didn't even intend to do that, by the way. We manually mentioned it as a joke. It's a serious sighting, by the way. It's actually on video, but we really didn't intend to make it that serious, by the way. So we're honored that people are shouting us out. But
oh my God, look at this. Look at this.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Yeah,
what
there we are on Reddit. Man, it's got 288 likes and 57 comments. on us talking about the Orb of Judgment. I mean, I can't believe this,
Man.
folks. I mean, the Orb is taking on a life of its own right here.
Man, out of everything that someone could have clipped us about, they clipped us on the UFO talk, man. They clipped us on the UFO talk. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna tell all of y'all. I mean, this is really the weirdest thing that I've ever seen us go viral over is talking about the orb. I mean, really, I mean, like this is kind of crazy, Matthew. I mean, we mentioned the orb, and it's literally just gone viral at this point, really. But we are honored to know that a lot of people watch the show enough that they find it to be of interesting note and discussion. But me personally, folks, I have to tell you that sadly we don't really have anything of substance to speak of on the thing. We just know that it's a thing, and that's really it. But anyways, with that, we are on to the next one.
All right. And also, some people are saying it took off as we gave it a name, the Orb of Judgment. So people appear to be running with that. By the way, I'm seeing people now calling it the Orb of Judgment on Twitter right now. So apparently, we have coined another phrase. We also coined a turret toss. Andrew did, actually. And then we heard from our sources that they were apparently using it in intelligence circles to describe the act of a turret being blown off of a tank in Russia. So we have coined another term, Orb of Judgment. Very, very fascinating.
No, we need to start
But
copyrighting these things. Like, man, we need to start copyrighting. I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's trying to monetize it.
No,
Dang, he's
no.
trying to cash in on this little.
No, I'm kidding around. Honestly, I think it is just absolutely tops that people are going around saying Orb of Judgment. I mean, I'm looking through the Reddit comments on this thing, man. And literally, everyone's talking about, the Orb of Judgment. Like they're literally calling it the Orb of Judgment. I mean, this is something else. I mean, we've come up with a new name for a new thing. First, it was turret toss. That was the most popular one that ever came out of our channel because the way the Russian turret would fly off a tank, I said it was like a hammer toss from the Olympics, so it looks like a turret toss instead. Instead of it being the hammer, it's the turret. Now we've come up with Orbs of Judgment, and now that's a big one. But anyways, with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a super chat here from none other than Zach G, who put in a 20. And thank you very much, Zach, for the support. He says, you guys are out here outworking entire news organizations, and keep up the amazing work, gentlemen, and LSA. And honestly, I'm not the bragging type, actually. Like, I'm really not. But I will say this. I was watching a couple of those mainstream channels earlier this morning when I was trying to get coffee in my system to wake up after the crazy stream last night that went on to like 3 in the morning. And I was watching the mainstream channels, and I was thinking, I don't know what's happened to the mainstream media. Like, it seems like they're getting worse. Also, they're running polls. I was watching one of them that was on YouTube on a live stream. I won't mention the names. I don't want to start a beef in case they're watching or something like that. But they were running polls, and I was listening to it. They were covering it the exact same way that I cover the polls I put here on the channel. I was like, no way that they just started doing that out of the blue. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, polls on a mainstream news channel? That's something that you only see on YouTube, like on a channel like ours, which I think they might be mimicking.
Yeah, and I mean, it's I gotta say that the reason why we are out here outworking most news channels that are mainstream is because we aren't doing it for a paycheck. We do this for the love of the game. I mean, we love covering news. It truly is something that keeps us going and is a huge passion for both of us. We love talking about it. We love doing it. And while I do have to admit that I am quite exhausted because we've been basically going nonstop with only about 5 hours of sleep and maybe an hour break since 11 o'clock yesterday. So, about 6 hours off out of the whole time that this has been going on. But I do have to say that we're entirely honored to be able to do this. And that's why we are generally outworking some mainstream news organizations, is because we love to do this and we are honored to know that we get to tell you all about it. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
And our next one here goes to, excuse me, by the way, goodness, so I need to drink some water here in a second. This one goes to Kratos, who put in a 100 yet again, and a huge shout to you, Kratos, for that generous support yet again. And they said, the LSA is the best thing in decades. It's night and day compared to the mainstream media. You guys are awesome, and please DoorDash some food, LOL, and LSA.
And thank you so much for the support and helping this channel to keep on running, because if it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't be able to keep the LSA alive and keep it going every day and give it a home. The LSA lives as an extension and a part of the Lee Spring Army and the Enforcer channel itself. And I got to say that we're always entirely honored and greatly appreciative to know that folks like you, Kratos, are going to be able to help this channel to keep on rolling, so that way we can ensure that the Lee Spring Army will never truly die. Over the course of 4 whole years of covering this news on the channel, the Lee Spring Army has only grown larger with every passing day and every passing week. And we're happy to know that today we've added about another 20,000 members to this amazing Lee Spring Army, which is becoming a force of reckoning, at least in the media space here in this country. And I would hope that it becomes a force of American progress and innovation here in the future, hopefully as well. And so a huge thanks to you so much once again for the support and helping this channel to keep on rolling. And with that, we are on and into the next one.
And our next super chat is going to go to none other than, let's see here, this one goes to Nate. And Nate puts in a 20. He said, thanks for doing what you do. Stay awesome and stay hydrated.
And thank you so much for enjoying what we do, and we will stay hydrated. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a 20 from DWRB, who said Operation Epic Fury coverage. Sadly, I can't say that for legal reasons, by the way, but he said, get some Costco chicken. I appreciate all you guys do and keep up the great work, and behold the orb.
Man, behold the orb. The orb is the big thing now. But a huge thanks to you for the support, helping the channel to keep on running. And I will have to say, thank you so much for the support, and hopefully we will be able to have a succulent Costco chicken thanks to you. And so a huge thanks to you once again, and we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, you know you're starting to get tired, like mentally, like I am. When I have the Tel Aviv live stream up and several other live streams over here on the left. I currently have the Tel Aviv audio turned on right now. So apparently a car just drove by the camera. I just almost jumped out of my seat and almost dove. I thought I heard the thing coming up behind me. I was like, "There's a car about to hit me from behind." My brain is it's starting to go. I'm getting delusional out here. But anyways, though, moving on to our next one, while I could try to contain the delusion. This one goes to Halifa Al-Bludshi, I think you say. I'm probably mispronouncing your name, by the way. I'm sorry for butchering it. But they put in a 185 dirham. Is that a dirham?
Yes, I believe that would be the currency of the United Arab Emirates.
Indeed, it is. And thank you very much, by the way, all the way from a country right now, which is currently being slammed by a sick country, which is Iran. And they said, I just woke up here in Abu Dhabi. Give me a recap, please. When will our F-16s bless Iranian airspace? And also, you're doing God's work. That's what we want to know about your country. We want to know why the UAE is not sending their F-16s to go hit Iran, or why they're not launching some type of offensive weapons back at Iran. We want to know that too. But thank you for that support. And Enforcer, what say you?
So I've actually been able to do a little bit of research, by the way, while we were on air a little bit earlier, and I actually found out that apparently at this point, the United Arab Emirates has actually shot down around 200 missiles and around 60 to 80 drones from what we know. It's just that they have so many missiles and drones being fired at them that their air defense isn't able to catch all of it, and some of it is making it through. But apparently we're not getting footage, which is interesting because I went and looked back on the side screen. I've been trying to do a lot of sleuthing on this because I did see some people saying, no, that's not at all the case with the UAEs in this air defense situation. So I do have to give a retraction and a correction on air to that because we always are trying to give you all the most accurate picture. The Emirati air defense is operational and it is working from what we know. And we are hearing reports that they have shot down about 200 missiles and around 60 to 80 drones. But at the same time, though, they're getting so overwhelmed that they're still not able to completely shoot all of it down, and some of it's getting through the net. So with that in mind, we do know that the Emiratis are conducting defensive actions, and they're doing apparently quite a good job at it. We don't know the interception rate percentage, but we also have not seen that offensive actions have been conducted against Iran yet. I also got to say, I hope that you slept well in Abu Dhabi. I mean, there's a lot going on out there, and a lot of people are having a hard time getting any sleep. So I'd have to say that's very good on you for getting some sleep, because it's always good to be well rested, even in the midst of something like this. I don't know, some people are going to be like, oh, that's stupid. Well, I mean, hell, what are you going to do? Like, for the people who say that's stupid, I mean, what are you going to do about the whole thing? I mean, this guy is well rested in the middle of a war. Other people are not well rested, and they're still in the middle of the war. So I would have to say, I would hope that the Emirati government will respond soon. We already know that your government did make the statement that they will respond, and that they are going to be conducting action against against Iran, because they have a right to respond to these provocations. So that gives us an idea that they might join in a couple of days, but it doesn't appear that this is quick, and they're trying to do some war planning at the moment to see what they are going to do. I believe that's what's happening with them right now. So I hope that does address the question the best I can. I hope that all of the folks out there like you in the UAE continue to stay safe, and also make sure that if you hear of an incoming air raid alert, make sure to shelter in place and find a suitable location to be able to see that you do not become a casualty in the midst of the ongoing air raids. So big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And I hope that does address that well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, I'm going to pass it over to you for a second to read off some of these super chats and address them. I'm trying to write a poll real quick, and also I'm trying to scan for some breaking news I think I might have here in just a second. So I'm going to pass it to you for a brief minute.
All right, folks, and we're going to be taking over from here. We have a $20 super chat from Zyper Sniper 1, an old guard and channel legend, without a doubt, who stated, "Coffee fun for the enforcers. Looks like you guys can't even get any rest with all that is happening. You guys honestly deserve a rest day tomorrow, and I will say forever." And I thank you so much for the support, Zyper Sniper, but the truth of the matter is that we never rest here on the channel if something major is happening. We are constantly paying attention to the developing situations. Even when we are not on air, we are generally working behind the scenes, preparing the maps, preparing the details, and also making sure that we know the story that's going to be unfolding, so that way we can recount it to y'all on air and fill in any gaps that anyone has informationally on what's going on out there. And I got to say that, really, to be entirely honest, while it is quite exhausting work, it is quite rewarding work, because we do get to know that we get to inform all of y'all of what's going on in exact real time inside the Middle East as it's happening. And that is something that pays dividends to me, because it makes me feel quite proud of the work that we do. And it makes all of the exhaustion, the tiredness, and the incredibly long hours of preparatory work before a show goes live and the show going live itself all the worthwhile. And so a huge thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. I hope that does address that incredibly well. And we also have a 20 from Derry in Leinster, who did not throw in a comment, along with Dixie LaFleur and MJT and Rainseer, who all threw in $20 super chats without comments. I do have to thank all four of y'all massively, Derry, Dixie, MJT, and Rainsteer, for throwing in y'all support. Y'all are helping this channel to keep on running, and while y'all didn't throw in comments for us to address, we are still massively appreciative nonetheless. I hope that does address that well. And we also have a $20 super chat from Made in Canada. Made in Canada said, 4 streams in 24 hours. I give more, but I'm going to need more energy strengths to support my Enforcer addiction. LSA. And I gotta say, 4 streams in 24 hours is running a record. We run 6 streams a week on our normal streaming schedule, so 4 streams in 24 hours is running an extremely high tempo and high pace sort of a schedule. To give you all a little bit of an idea, a normal 3.5 hour show on my end has about nearly the same amount of time put in terms of stream prep. It's about 2 to 2.5 hours, so it's about an hour short usually of the full length of the stream, meaning that running a normal stream can take anywhere about 6 hours in length in terms of preparatory time and running a show. These streams right now not only need preparatory time of about an hour and a half or so to make the thumbnail and everything, usually, unless we're in an incredibly large rush, they also run for an incredibly long time as well. So we have been working today, at least, ever since we woke up, which has now been about 13 to 14 hours at this point. And yesterday was about a similar amount of time as well, and that went well on towards about 3 o'clock in the morning local time here. So I do have to thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep on running, because you're helping us to be able to get our caffeine, to be able to keep this thing running and going all day, every day. And so a huge thanks to you so much once again. I hope that does address that incredibly well. And we also have a 20 from Royal Chiefs. And Royal Chiefs said, coffee, Costco chicken, and snacks. Appreciate all the hours of news, and long live the Lee Spring Army. And thank you so much for appreciating the news, and long live the Lee Spring Army to you as well. We also got a 20 from Ed. Ed said, LSA and Irish Ed here. Damn, Andrew and Matt, you guys are news machines. I was a few hours behind on live streams, just got done watching the last one, then I saw a new one. I'm still an hour behind, and God bless the USA. And I gotta say, I thank you so much for the support, and we are giving y'all unlimited Enforcer content these days. If y'all ever wanted more Enforcer news, y'all are kidding it. I mean, like, that's without a doubt. And I gotta thank you so much for the incredible support. And of course, God bless the United States of America, and long live the Republic. And so a massive thanks to you once again.
And also, by the way, jumping back in here for a second, a big shout out to that mom who put in a $50 support as well. And thank you very much to that mom for supporting the channel. And she said, you boys have been working overtime this week, and I hope you're still getting rest and staying hydrated. And don't forget to call your family.
And thank you so much for the support. And we are making sure to stay hydrated and well rested. And we are, of course, working incredibly hard around the clock to make the news possible. So a humongous thanks to you once again for that support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, I'm getting word here, once again, when it comes to security situations and when it comes to people's safety, always listen to your government first. Don't take us as fact. We're reporting what we're hearing, but we could be incorrect possibly on it. So on that type of stuff, listen to your government. But for everybody else, it's simply listening that isn't necessarily at risk. We're hearing word, allegedly, that the Israeli Home Front Command has issued its first all-clear order that marks the 6th wave of alerts across the country. And apparently, Iran reportedly launched several missiles during each wave that we're hearing about. We do have a video of the Iron Dome also in action as well over the southern skies of Israel. I would assume this is in the Negev Desert, it appears like, that we're seeing right now as well.
This appears that it might actually be over Be'er Sheva, which would be very close to the Negev Desert. So here's the clip. When you see the air defense interceptors going out from their launchers to meet the Iranian missiles at the head in the middle of the skies over southern Israel. When you see the missiles now in the air, trying to find their mark onto the incoming Iranian missiles. You see the cameraman silently looking on, waiting for the flashes of impacts in the sky, confirming that the Iranian missiles have been shot down preemptively before they could hit their targets. And unfortunately, we were not able to see that in that clip. But we still were able to see air defense action nonetheless. And so with that, we are now moving on and into the next one.
Also, by the way, real quick, let's address this poll. I put this one up to popular demand, by the way. And the Orbit Judgment has really captivated the minds of apparently the entire internet and our stream as well, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure if we should be proud of that or if we should be concerned that we've started such a trend. I'm not sure. But let's see. The question currently says, what do you believe the Orbit Judgment actually is? 57%, the majority, say a U.S. or Western intelligence aircraft that we're unfamiliar with. 18% says a genuine unknown aircraft or an unidentified flying object or an unidentified aerial phenomenon. And 10% said maybe it's something else, biblical perhaps. And I'm really putting my money on it's a U.S. or Western intelligence aircraft. I saw someone say a second ago, they said, well, Matt, how are you not sure this is not simply like the RQ-170 Sentinel, which is a new stealth drone that the U.S. is currently using? They used it on Venezuela for one of the first times in a combat environment. They're saying that maybe it could be that. But the problem is, though, the RQ-170 Sentinel is a stealth drone. It definitely does not have a massive, like, 1 million lumen spotlight on the front of it. If it had that, it would completely waste all the money on the stealth that they built into it. So it's not that. Trust me, it's something else. But Enforcer, what say you?
I'd say that it is probably a U.S. or Western intelligence aircraft. I'd have to be with the 57%, considering that it shows up only before major historical actions that involve the United States military, around the entirety of the world. I'd have to say that it's highly likely that it's related to the United States of America in some way, because no matter what, we never saw the Orbit Judgment show over Ukraine before the war in Ukraine. We never saw it show up over Afghanistan or Pakistan before the current war going on between those two countries. And we have also not really seen it anywhere else in the world. Like, for example, in the Pakistan-India war, we never saw the orb there either. So I would have to say, I think in my opinion, this little fella is American related of some sort. So I hope that does address that the best I can. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, our next super chat goes to Alifa Al-Blitchi once again, and thank you very much, Alifa, for that $80 support. He put a thumbs up. He was happy with the answer, and we're glad to hear that, and we appreciate the support. And Enforcer, what say you?
And thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep on running and making this thing possible. Khalifa Al-Blitchi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And so big thanks to you once again. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a $28 support from Leon, and thank you, Leon, for that 28. He said, what % of Iranian missiles magazine depth is left, do you think?
Actually, sadly, we wouldn't really know, because the rough estimates were that they had thousands of missiles, and considering that they've fired hundreds of them already, actually, we'd assume that amongst all of them, they probably fired about 700 of them. If they had thousands of missiles available, they've actually probably fired a significant amount of their stocks off, like 1 in every 7 missiles. So they won't be able to keep up this rate of fire for long, and also they're going to be running out of TELs with each passing hour. And so big thanks to you for the support. I hope that does address that well. And with that, we're on to the next one.
We also have a $20 support from none other than Moity Movies. And thank you, Moity, very much for the support. He said, you guys are doing a great job, and thank you very much. It's much better than that corporate news.
Oh, it doesn't take a lot to be corporate news these days, sadly. It's more so political oriented than it is actual news oriented. I think that's quite a shame, really, because I know some people are probably, yeah, CNN, the wicked left, or Fox, the wicked right. I mean, like, really, it's honestly just a sad state of affairs that you have to pick the left or the right for the news. Why not go down the middle? And that's what we do. We don't pick a side. We just, well, we do pick one side, which is being an American patriot, an American citizen in support of American interests. But outside of that, we don't pick a political side domestically to present our news through a lens on. We just present it through a pro-American lens, and that's it. But a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And thank you for the kind words, Moity Movies. And with that, we're on to the next one.
And our next one here is going to go to none other than, it's going to be Anna Russell, who puts in a 20. And thank you very much, Anna, for that $20 support. And we appreciate that very much. There's not a comment attached, though, but we appreciate it. We also have a 20 from Jonathan Schweitlin, who also put in a 20 as well, along with David Bose, who put in a 20 as well. So a huge shout out to Jonathan, Anna, and David for that support very, very much. We also have a 20 from Spooky, who said, I'm not rich, but it's all I have. And you guys are the best. And I've become my go-to hotspot news source. And thanks from Coosa County. That wouldn't be Coosa County, Alabama. That would
Alabama.
be Coosa County, Alabama, would it? Because that's very close to where we actually grew up as kids. So if that is, that means you live pretty much right where we grew up, which is very interesting. But I think there's multiple Coosa counties, by the way. I don't think it's just Alabama. But Enforcer, what say you?
I got to thank you massively for the support, nonetheless, Bouquet. And I got to say, we thank you incredibly for the support. Whether it's $1 or $500, we consider every bit of support to be absolutely incredible. And we thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we thank you massively for the kind words. And so with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 20 from Marcy, who said, thank you for the excellent coverage and God bless.
And thank you so much for enjoying the coverage. And of course, long live the Late Spring Army and long live the Republic. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we have a 20 from Dan Gross. He said, a longtime listener from Los Angeles. I'm currently touring Vietnam, listening to you nonstop, and I have a great respect for what y'all do and spent 2022 in Thailand and never missed a show.
Thank you so much for the support, Dan Gross. And thank you so much for being a longtime viewer from the big, beautiful city of Los Angeles. Really cool city. If y'all haven't been there, make sure to go take a look around, especially the Santa Monica and Beverly Hills area. It's really cool to see. I got to say that it's an amazing and incredible thing to know that folks like you are supporting the show and helping it to keep on running, because we like to know that Americans who really care about the news love the Enforcer channel from city to city, from town to town, from farm to farm. And I got to thank you incredibly for being one of those folks that enjoys this channel and helps us to be able to keep this thing running. And so big thanks to you once again. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have let's see here. We also have a $20 support from Knuckle, who said, if Marv Albert was a war correspondent, keep up the good work.
And I thank you so much for the kind words. I actually don't know who Malv Albert is at the moment.
But he's a sports commentator. He's a sportscaster. So we're getting a sportscaster reference again.
Oh, well, I mean, we could change it around a little bit. I mean, we could sound like someone else, like David Attenborough or Mike Tyson or the current sitting president or the former president. I mean, we could switch it up for y'all. But we'll keep the current voice. It seems as though that's a very popular thing. But a humongous
I don't have a choice.
I mean, it literally is our normal voice. It's like, like a lot of people say, oh, you sound like a sports commentator. I mean, truly, folks, this is how we just sound. I mean, we literally talk to each other like this off air. It's just the way we were born. I mean, we can't even help it. Like, some people are like, wow, I love how you make war sound like a sports show. It's like, we make everything sound like a sports show. I mean, you can listen to us talking about normal stuff like clothes. It sound like a sports show, You can hear us talk about cars. It's going to sound like that. That's just how we were born. It's how our voices developed. I don't know. But beyond that, I do thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep running. I hope that does rest well. And thank you very much for the high praise. I like to think that our voices are fairly smooth and easy to listen to. That's usually what a lot of people say. And we were just very blessed with genetics to get voices like these. So big thanks to you once again. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 20 from Old Warrior Fella. He said overtime pay, and please remind the audience about the fundraiser for Ukraine
it's really
tomorrow.
reliable. It's free.
We're actually not sure if we're going to be live at that exact time to run the fundraiser, to be honest. We're kind of debating that right now, trying to figure out how that's going to work. I'll be honest. Usually we have a pretty distinct plan for how things work on the channel. We're kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now because we weren't even expecting to be live right now. We were expecting to be sleeping right now to get some rest after working nonstop for I don't even know how many hours I've been working. I've been working. I can't even keep track of it. But
12.
We don't know. We're not really sure when we're going to go live. But Enforcer, what say you?
I've been working 12. Well, actually, it'd be 12 and a half right now. I started working on putting together this show the last show that we were running today, I started working on that at 10:30 in the morning local time. Right now, it's 11. So I've been going for at least 12 and a half hours. I don't know how long Matthew's been going, but it's probably very similar to that. But we have been absolutely going. I mean, we have been going nuts. And I got to say, big thanks to you for the support. And also, I got to say, Old Warrior, we're not really sure if there is going to be a fundraiser tomorrow, because if there's a huge development in the middle of the day, we're probably going to cover that in its own stream. And if that happens, we won't even have a fundraiser selected. It's just going to be a normal show. And then we probably won't run a late night show, because we do have to eventually try and slow down and take a minute, because running shows like this is actually quite tiresome. Some people are going to be like, you're complaining. It's like, well, I mean, you don't know how much work goes on behind the scenes for people who say that. It's not like a McDonald's job where you clock in and the only time you're doing anything is when you're on air. There's a lot of stuff we have to deal with behind the scenes, business related filings for certain things. I mean, there's a million things that we're doing right now that don't even have to do with actually running the show, and then there's a million things that have to go on with running the show. So Sadly, we can't just act like we're full of nothing but injury to run the show. I mean, we have a million things that we're doing business related with this as well. So I do have to say a big thanks to you for the support, and we'll have to see if we can run one. I would hope that we could, but it might not be possible. But a big thanks to you for the support nonetheless, and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Our next one goes to Trevora, who puts in a 20. He said, "Thank you for all you do, USA and LSA #1, and also please give some Orba Judgment merch."
And thank you so much for the support, Trevora, and thank you so much for enjoying everything that we do. Of course, USA and LSA are #1, and we will see about getting some Orba Judgment merch at some point in the future. We were trying to get the merch store back up and running like it was a while ago, and we were hoping that we'll be able to get that out there when it happens. And so a huge thanks to you once again, and we are on to the next one.
We also have a 50 from Jamie 460. Thank you very much, Jamie, for that support. They said, "Long live the Republic."
And long live the Republic indeed, Jamie. And a huge thanks to you for the support. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also got another super chat from Kratos yet again. He put in a $100 support once more. And thank you very much, Kratos, for that very generous support. They said, so the real question is, why haven't the Iranian Navy assets just sitting around in ports not been hit yet? And why not take out the ships, the fast boats, the submarines, etc.? They're kind of easy picking.
I actually don't know, Kratos. That's a good question. They've hit a couple of larger vessels like the corvettes. I guess they're just not considering them to be a priority at the moment. Me personally, I consider them to be a high priority, and I think that they should be knocked out. But for some reason, the greater powers that be in the military have decided that that's not a high priority target. I would. But a humongous thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, a big shout out to Aiden Lewis, who put in a 20. And thank you very much, Aiden, for that $20 support. He said, "You guys are putting in some serious work, and we appreciate it." Hello from a fellow Utahn and LSA.
Hey, and a big hello to the fellow Utahns out here in the great state of Utah. I got to thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we are putting in that serious work, and we're always honored and proud to do it. So big thanks to you once again, and we are on to the next one.
And our next one goes to Alexis, who puts in a 20. And they said, "I'm seeing that Russia is getting involved backing up Iran, and Putin is posting on X. And is that true?"
And generally, let's see. Not really. No, I haven't seen that at all, actually. But I do thank you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And we are on to the next one.
We also have a 20 from Waka Waka What, who said, "Is it possible the orb might be the RQ Sentinel drone?" This is who said that, by the way. He said, "You know that super duper secret drone? The one that I bet that the orb, that drone that took Andrew's coffee filters. You're exonerated, Matt." Thank you for exonerating me, by the way. I do appreciate that. It's likely not the RQ Sentinel for the reasons I was saying earlier. The RQ Sentinel, being a stealth drone, has nothing on it that's that reflective or that luminescent, I guess you could say. So definitely not. Whatever the object is we're seeing in the skies is illuminated very, very brightly for whatever reason. But Enforcer, what say you?
Yeah, I would have to say we don't know what the orb is. You know, Matthew, this is the true way. This is the true way to figure out if anyone's watching us in the government. If someone is watching us in the government right now from any government agency, either the Department of Defense, the CIA, the FBI, or whatever, and they find the Orb of Judgment to be kind of a funny thing and you watch the show, you don't have to say that you watched the show directly, but put out a tweet addressing the Orb of Judgment and call it the Orb of Judgment. Call it by its name. That is the one way, Matthew, that I think we would know without them actually saying it, that they watch the show or that they care about the show. Because we have like kind of a little thing going on, folks, that we know that there's got to be someone out there that's watching this show that's in the government, because sometimes we bring up things on the show and it's like addressed in 5 minutes in a tweet and it's not directly addressed at us. And there's also a lot of people who we kind of like talk to that are around the government right now that we speak to behind the scenes. So we're really interested who's actually out there watching right now. So if they are watching, address the Orb of Judgment. We will love to know who in the world is watching out there. That'd be pretty interesting to see. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, folks, but when we were covering the Mexico stuff, we actually had people that we now know from both sides that were watching because they follow us on Twitter, which is actually kind of wild. Everybody down in Mexico was watching the show to figure out what was going on with the cartel war that day. I'm not even kidding.
And there were cartel. I'm not sure of the proper term, by the way. I think it's soldier, by the way. I think the cartel soldiers, I guess you could say. They were apparently watching our show and literally watching their own guys fighting from the show right here. So while everybody else in America was watching as they were curious about what was happening in Mexico, the people that were actually fighting down there were apparently watching as well, or at least they were looking at our Twitter. one or the other. So we don't know who these people are, but they're watching, apparently, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I mean, like even people from the Mexican government and stuff were down there watching. Like not the higher up ones. It was apparently like people that were more so kind of like on the ground having to
Governors
do.
and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. It was really wild. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, like literally everybody went to our show to figure out what was going on in their own country. And I got to say it, like actually that's kind of crazy to think that everybody came here to listen to what was happening down there. And they kind of still do a little bit, but we don't cover it as much as we should because, we have a million things going on in the world right now. But anyways, with that, we are on to the next one.
All right, and our next one here is going to go to none other than Notorious GRG. He puts in a 20, and thank you very much, Notorious, as well. He said, for water, Costco chicken, and some immune support, so you guys stay healthy through this crazy schedule. Thank you for the great coverage in LSA.
And thank you so much for enjoying our coverage, and we're always honored and incredibly proud to be able to cover the news of everything going on around the world for all of y'all here in the LSA. And so big thanks to you once again. I hope that I addressed that well, and we are on to the next one.
Also, by the way, Enforcer, I think it's about time for a Super Chat cutoff because we still have a lot left, and we don't want to run too late on this one because if we do, we are going to be so tired tomorrow that we probably won't be able to function. Or if we do run a stream, we're going to sound probably low energy if we do that.
Got you. If you can go ahead and write up that super chat cutoff thing and put it in the chat for me, I'll actually just copy that and I'll start pasting it like every moment or two in the chat so that way people know. But at this moment right now, effective immediately, we are going to be instilling a super chat cutoff. We will be taking some of the super chats that are coming in while we're saying this right now, but due to the massive influx of super chats once again, we have about 80 of them that we have to address before we get off air right now. We always want to make sure that we have the ability to be able to address everyone's super chats before we get off of air. Whether it's $1 or $500, we are massively appreciative of each and every single person who supports the Enforcer channel, as this channel does not run sponsors or ads on our streams. It is the viewers themselves that are able to fund this channel to make this thing a living reality every day, and to give all of the millions who are watching this channel right now their source of news, and to give us our full-time job. We're always massively appreciative to them, but we cannot answer everyone's super chats if they continue to come in and we answer all of them. So effective at this moment right now, we will not be able to address any new super chats that are coming in. If you throw one in, please be warned and do beware. We will not be able to actually read that off and thank you personally for your support as much as we would like to. And so a big thanks to everyone once again. And with that in mind, we are going to be continuing on with addressing the current super chats that we have right now. And so Matthew, what do we got?
All right, so this one goes to Angela in Bama, who puts in a 50. And thank you very much, Angela, for that $50 support. She said, everyone needs an enforcer, and we're lucky to have two. Thank you for the hard work and all you do for the world. And also, do you have any other way that we can donate through? And thank you, God bless, and super thank you.
And thank you so much for the incredible support and helping this channel to keep running. And as far as supporting the channel, there is only one other way that we can take support for the channel, which is through our Patreon. We actually don't plug that on streams. That's more so of a video thing that we plug because we, for some reason, like I don't know why we even do this anymore, but we kind of keep the two separated to where Patreon supports for videos and then super chats are for the streams. But you can support us on Patreon if you wanted to, and that's really the only other way to support the channel. YouTube takes about 30% of every super chat that's sent in, so out of $10 they'll take 3, and then I think Patreon takes something like 8%, I believe, or something along those lines, of the Patreon support. So out of every dollar they take about 8 cents. So with that, I hope that does address that the best I can, and a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
And we also have a $15 support from Clinto once again. He said, got that local coffee from the USA Soldiers Rifle Coffee Company. Yum, yum.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Black Rifle Coffee Company, coffee, like the ones that come in the little, like aluminum cans, they're actually pretty good. They're pretty decent. I don't have them a lot, though, because it's like a whole lot of caffeine, but it is pretty decent tasting, that I will say. And a big thanks to you for the support and helping this channel to keep on running. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 10 from 50,000 Bees who said, dang, I can't believe you guys already ate those chickens from Costco in that 6-hour stream. Here's some more Costco chicken money so you can eat tomorrow in LSA.
And thank you so much for the support, and we will be eating Costco chickens incredibly well. And so a huge thanks to you so much once again. I hope that does address that incredibly well. And with that, we are on to the next one.
We also have a 10 from Chris Lott. And thank you, Chris, as well. He said, we just going to keep going, huh, gentlemen? God bless you guys.
And apparently we are, and I got to thank you massively for the support and helping this channel to keep on rolling. And also, Matthew, I think that we need to go back to our 2020 shifts, like we were doing a little bit earlier, and we might be able to knock these out a little bit more efficiently. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. That's good with me.
All right, everyone. And so with that, we're going to be starting off our 2020 shifts again, where I'll be taking a turn answering 20 individually, and then Matthew will be answering the next 20 individually on his own. Starting off with Just a Plumber. Just a Plumber threw in a 10 and said, overtime pay, LSA. And a big thanks to you for the overtime pay, and thank you so much for supporting this channel and helping it to keep on running, because folks like you do make this thing possible and keep it rolling. We also have a 10 from Jerry Coates, who said, please match me, God bless America, and also long live the Lee Spring Army. And this is a one for all the supporters of the LSA. Thank you, Matt and the crew. And a huge thanks to you for the support, Jerry Coates, and helping this channel to keep on running, and the kind words. We also have a 10 from Gustav, who stated, 4 streams in 24 hours, your energy is unmatched, but please tell me, let's see, use this for a post-stream meal and go get some sleep. You've earned a long break. Rest up. And I thank you so much for the support, but the Elite Spring Army and the Enforcers never sleep when there is real news, and, well, not real news, but major breaking news to cover. And for that reason, we are generally on high alert and operating on a near 24-hour period.